On January 6th, the nation's attention was on the deadly attack at the U.S. Capitol. Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger writes about that day in his new book, Integrity Counts. I spoke to him earlier about his take on what led to those moments.
People had been spun off. They were spun up on stuff that was made up. It was not supported by the facts. And it's really was a tragic day because people lost their lives that day. I think it was really the straw that broke the camel's back. I think that's really when people said, this has gone on way too far. And I think people started pulling back and reassessing the situation. And I pray that never happens again.
Well, former President Trump continues to actively push the idea, as you know, that America's election system is fundamentally broken and cannot be trusted. And by that reasoning, Joe Biden's presidency is illegitimate. Even now, over 2/3 of Republicans and 3/4 of Trump voters believe there was widespread voter fraud in 2020. More than 100 members of Congress, including Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, voted against certifying election results. How do you see this distrust in our democracy playing out for your party?
I believe that integrity counts. I have a book. You have all the facts there. And so because it's laid out there, point by point, anyone that disagrees, then come with your facts, but they don't have any facts. But that's what people have to do. If we want to move forward, Jim Collins wrote a book, Good to Great. It's about business, but the number one issue you got to do to go from good to great is accept the brutal truth. You got to look at yourself and you got to say, what were the facts about the last election? 28,000 people in Georgia skipped the presidential ballot. They didn't vote for anyone. Senator David Perdue got 20,000 more votes in the metropolitan areas of Atlanta and Athens than President Trump. And in the Republican congressional areas, President Trump got 33,000 less votes than the Republican congressman. That's just a hard, brutal truth. And so that explains what happened with the election. I have all the other data in the book, but those 3 data points explain it all.
Well, the title of your book is Integrity Counts. What does integrity look like now, Mr. Secretary? I mean, former President Trump is the Republican Party's standard bearer, someone who continues to say it's actually Republicans like you who are hurting the party. What does integrity look like?
Well, I don't believe that the truth ever hurts anyone, and it won't hurt our party. I think when people walk that line of integrity, that they're truthful, they have character, that builds trust. And when you build trust, then you can actually get things done. Nothing gets done in Washington because there isn't that trust. So I would say people need to lean into character. They need to also lean into civil discourse. And we do that, then we'll start moving America forward and we'll get things done.
Well, many of the Republicans who have challenged Donald Trump have come around to support him in various ways, or they've left their roles or are in the process of leaving their roles before being forced out. If Republicans can't unequivocally state the truth about the election and the results and about January 6th, what compels you to stay in that party?
I've been a conservative all my life. I'm a very solid fiscal conservative. You look at my voting record, all the bills I introduced when I was in the State House. People know that I'm a solid conservative. And so I'm not going to be wishy-washy about that. I'm not going to move off of my conservative principles. But also I'm going to stand fast on the truth. I'm going to stand fast and hold on to integrity. Those are values that I think really our founders believed in. They were people of character, deep thought. And if we lean back into that, but then adopt our policies for what we're facing now in the 2020s, then we'll be in good shape as Republicans. But first of all, I think we really need to face what happened last year. That's why I wrote the book, Integrity Counts. It gives you a total view of what Stacey Abrams talked about, what President Trump talked about, and how it really destabilizes society. Integrity counts. It always has, and it always will.
Last question I have for you. How have you changed, given the events over the past year and what it is that you experienced?
I think I'm the same person. I think Tricia would say that. We just understand that it's been a very trying and stressful time for our party and our nation. I understood when we brought out our verifiable paper ballot system, our new voting system, that we lived in polarized times. But I said that half the people would be happy with the results, half the people would be sad. But we wanted 100% of the people to have confidence in the results. We didn't know that people would go ahead and disparage the machines. That's why we did the 100% hand recount in our audit. And when we did that, we verified that the machines did not flip the votes. We also verified the totals, that President Trump came up short by about 12,000 votes.
And I know I said that was the last one, but I do have one more for you. What would you say to people who might have been considering a career in public service, but have seen the experience of people like yourself and have determined that that is not something that they want to risk for their own situations? What would be your advice or your recommendation to them?
Well, if you're a person of integrity and you really want to help move our country forward, I would encourage you to run, because our nation needs good, solid people like that. And obviously, we just saw what happened in Virginia. It's very exciting because we had someone with a positive, aspirational, hopeful message that really built the tent and really included more people, reached across the aisle for important issues for Virginians. And when we do that, we're going to do just fine.
Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.